Good afternoon. The meeting of the MDC Hearing Examiner for June 9th, 2022 will now come to order. Before I start reading the rules of procedure, a couple of reminders. Please silence your telephones, and if you need to have a conversation, please go out in the hall to do that. The hearing today will be conducted in accordance with the rules of procedure of the Metropolitan Development Commission. Each party will have 15 minutes for their original presentation. We will hear the staff recommendation, and then each party will have 5 minutes for rebuttal. Any party who is dissatisfied with the recommendation made today has an automatic right to an appeal. The dissatisfied party must file the appeal with the Department of Metropolitan Development within 5 business days. Additional notice of the appeal is also required to be made to the individuals requiring notice by the MDC Rules of Procedure. All petitions for which I make a recommendation to the Metropolitan Development Commission regarding approval or denial will be forwarded to the Commission meeting on July 6th, 2022. Any commitments agreed to must be submitted to staff no later than Wednesday, June 29th, 2022. We will now begin with special requests, including withdrawals and continuances, and we are first going to ask Nancy to read into the record all petitions for which we know we have special requests. Thank you, Nancy.
Thank you, Madam Hearing Examiner. First, we have a petition to be withdrawn, 2022 ZON 033 at 700 East Wurgis Avenue, Perry Township, Council District 16.
Thank you, Nancy. Is there anybody here on 2022 ZON 033 on Wurgis Avenue? Okay, and Kathleen, any comments on that?
Thank you, Judy. Staff, as indicated in the staff report, that was published, and that before the withdrawal was submitted, and the withdrawal was submitted a couple of days ago, and I believe there are a couple of neighbors here that just wanted to make sure that this was acknowledged.
Okay, so if there are neighbors here on that withdrawal and you want to speak to the withdrawal, you can come forward and state your name and address. If you're just here to make sure that it's done, that's fine as well. So if you do want to come forward, now is the right time to do that. Okay, so I am going to acknowledge the withdrawal of petition 2022 ZON 033 at 700 East Wurgis Avenue. Thank you.
Next, we have petitions requested to be continued to the June 23rd, 2022 meeting. First is 2022 ZON 037 at 1212 Castagna Drive, Washington Township, Council District 7. Mr. Oak.
Good afternoon. For the record, Tim Oakes, attorney and Heiss Miller with offices at 1 American Square, Suite 2900, Indianapolis, Indiana, 46282-0200. Here representing the petitioner in 2022 ZON 037. We have no objection to the staff request for a continuance and ask that it be continued to June 23rd without additional notice. I did communicate that we would be asking for a continuance to June 23rd to the various groups and stakeholders that we've been dealing with, so they're aware of it, and to my knowledge there were no objections.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Oakes. Is there anyone here on 2022 ZON 037 on Castagna Drive? Okay, and Eddie, do you feel like 2 weeks is sufficient time for the continuance?
Thank you, Madam Hearing Examiner. Yes, staff believes that that will be adequate time for review.
Okay, so I am, because I know this has been continued a couple times already, so I am going to continue 2022 ZON 037 to the June 23rd hearing, and that is without notice. Thank you.
Next, we have companion petitions 2022 ZON 053 and petition 2022 VAR 003 amended at 11,811 and 11,944 Southeastern Avenue and 7,400 South Carroll Road, Franklin Township, Council District 25.
Good afternoon, Ms. Fortshall. Joe Calderon, attorney at 11 South Meridian, Indianapolis, 46204, representing the petitioner in these companion petitions. We are seeking a 2-week continuance simply out of courtesy to go back to Franklin Township Civic League one last time and to finalize commitments. Otherwise, we'd be ready. We've already pushed this case out once. We've been to the Civic League twice. We've been engaged with staff, and like I said, the 2-week continuance to finalize the commitments and go to Franklin Township next Wednesday is all the time that we need to be ready for the 23rd.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Calderon. Is there anyone here on companion petitions 2022 ZON 051 and VAR 003 on Southeastern and on South Carroll Road? Okay, and Keith, any additional comments?
Yes, I have been in contact with remonstrators, and they are aware of this request and are in support of it. Staff is in support of it as well.
Okay, and Mr. Calderon, I do appreciate you keeping the interested parties informed on that. So I am going to continue 2022 ZON 051 and 2022 VAR 003 to the June 23rd hearing.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Next, we have 2022 ZON 062 at 6900 East 21st Street, Warren Township, Council District 19.
Is Mr. Rooney here? Is there anyone here on those petitions on East 21st Street? Okay. Keith, any comments?
This was a notice issue, so it does need to be continued to the June 23rd, 2022 hearing. And actually, notice has gone out for that date.
Okay, great. So I will continue 2022 ZON 062 to the June 23rd hearing, and as you said, the notice has already gone out. Okay, thank you.
Next is 2022 ZON 063 at 4720 Kingsway Drive, Washington Township, Council District 9.
And again, he's not here on that. Is there anyone here on 2022 ZON 063 on Kingsway Drive? Okay. And Kathleen, do you feel like 2 weeks is enough?
I'm hoping it is. Yes, this was a request from staff because staff wanted a plan of operation.
Okay.
And the attorney, their representative, Mr. Rooney, indicated that that would be forthcoming. But I haven't seen it yet.
Okay. So at this point, since you don't have it yet, do you think that's going to give you enough time, not knowing when it's going to come in?
I would like to push it out another couple of weeks,
okay,
just for that, just to make sure that it gets here so that it wouldn't have to be asking for another continuance.
Okay, so I am going to, on my own motion, continue 2022 ZON 063 to the July 14th hearing. And does that need to be with notice, or?
I'll let Mr. Rooney know that.
Okay, does he need to send notice again, or?
No.
Okay.
Notice will not, that will not be with notice.
Okay, all right. So again, 2022 ZON 063 continued to the July 14th hearing.
And last, for the June 23rd meeting, there was a request for 2022 ZON 066.
I don't think Mr. Tui's here. Is there anyone else here on 2022 ZON 066 at 11015 and 11127 East 46th Street? Okay, and Keith, I sound like a broken record. Do you think that 2 weeks is enough for that?
The purpose of this continuance was to allow for the traffic impact study to be completed. It has been completed now and has been submitted. Staff has not had the opportunity to review it yet, but we believe we can get it reviewed in the next 2 weeks.
Okay, all right. Great. So then I will continue 2022 ZON 066 to the June 23rd hearing. Thank you.
We now have petitions that had written requests to be continued to July 14th, 2022. First is 2022 ZON 036 at 4161 and 4355 Senora Road, Franklin Township, Council District 25.
Okay, I don't think Mr. Rutherford is here on that. Is there anyone here on 2022 ZON 036 on Senora Road? Okay. And Keith, I noticed it's already been continued twice for the traffic study. Do you know where we are with that review?
I've asked the petitioner that question, and he just said that he hoped that it would be done by that time.
So it's not done yet?
It is not done yet.
Okay. So that's really, what, 5 weeks, I think? In your opinion, is that enough time to have it reviewed if you don't have it yet?
Yes, that should be enough time.
Okay.
There are some other issues with this petition, but
Okay.
this has been the main holdup.
Okay. So then I will continue 2022 ZON 036 to the July 14th hearing.
We also have petition 2022 ZON 057 at 9047 West Mooresville Road, Decatur Township, Council District 20.
And again, this is Mr. Tui, traffic impact study issue. Keith, same question. Is that enough time for review?
And pretty much the same answer. We have not received the traffic impact study yet.
Okay.
We understand it is underway and hope that it will be in on time, and we'll have the opportunity to review it. I don't know of any reason at this point to extend it out farther than July 14th.
Okay, and I don't believe I asked if anybody else was here. So is anyone else here on 2022 ZON 057 on West Mooresville Road? Okay. So I am going to continue 2022 ZON 057 to the July 14th hearing.
And we also have 2022 ZON 065 at 3450 West 62nd Street, Pike Township, Council District 7.
Yes, sir. Are you here for that petition?
Yes.
Okay, step forward, please, and say your name and address.
My name is Henry Reed at 4318 Trailgate Drive, Indianapolis, Indiana. I'm the petitioner.
Okay, and so it looks like there's a request to continue that to July 14th, and then there's a notice issue? Can you explain that to me?
Yeah, the notice issue, they were picked up late and sent out, I think, at a non-appropriate time.
Okay,
and so I was going to request a waiver in that regard.
So what's the request?
That it be waived, that I move forward with the notices that have been sent out.
Okay, when were they sent out?
The let's see, hold on one second.
I believe it was May the 26th,
Okay,
according to the affidavit.
Yes,
so how
the
many?
26th.
So how many days?
So that would be 9 days, wouldn't it?
Mm-hmm. I do believe so.
It was, because it was due out on the 17th.
Okay. So it was, okay, so it was only sent out
9 days prior.
17,
No, it was due out on the 17th, and it was May 17th, and it was mailed on May 26th.
26. Okay, so a 9-day waiver.
9-day
so
waiver.
It was sent out 14 days in advance, is that right? But 9-day waiver of the notice?
Yeah.
Okay. Were the signs also not posted?
The signs were posted when the notices went out.
Okay. So they were also posted late? Okay.
Yes.
So are you asking for the continuance?
No, I'm asking just for a waiver that
Okay.
it doesn't affect the dates that we already have set forth. But if the person is requiring, it to be continued, and additional notices sent out, I'm not opposed to that.
Okay, so Ms. Blair, I think you wanted to speak on this?
I did. Thank you, Hearing Examiner Wertz Hall. Susan Blair, Pike Township Residents Association, Post Office Box 40458, 46240. The postmark on the notice that we received is the 27th of May. The notice was picked up in the at the post office box on June the 2nd in the evening, and that was the last day to file an automatic continuance, which PTRA would have done so that we could have an opportunity to meet with the petitioner and discuss their plans and the details of their request. So PTRA would like to request a continuance to your July 14th hearing so that we can accomplish that.
Okay, all right. Thank you. And Kathleen, any comments on that?
Thank you, Judy. Staff would have no objection to, first of all, the waiver, but again, I think the fact that there's a continuance being requested, that makes it easier to support the waiver, because it will, they will have had adequate notice on this one.
And I have no objection to meeting with Ms. Blair to discuss, what we're planning.
Okay.
The question, though, is, Ms. Blair indicated it was postmark 527.
Right.
And he indicated, and the affidavit indicates the May 26th hearing, so there's either a 9 or a 10-day notice.
Okay.
There.
And I may not be asking, I'm not really sure who would ask this question. So if I deny the request, does that mean they have to send notice again? Or it just can't be heard today, which we're not going to hear it anyway?
Well, they wouldn't, I don't believe they would need to send notice again, but you would have, unless you do not grant the waiver.
Right.
Which then they would likely have to they would have to send notice, I would think.
Okay, and that was my question.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah, I think, just given the circumstances, I am not going to grant the waiver of notice so that new notice can be sent for the July 14th hearing, just so everybody's on the same page. I think that's the cleanest way to handle it. And Mr. Reed, I appreciate your cooperation with that.
Yes, no problem. Understood.
And then, yeah, as Ms. Blair pointed out, she really didn't have time to exercise the automatic continuance. This is putting you on the same date if she would have filed the automatic to begin with. Okay?
Sure.
All right. Ms. Blair, did you have anything else?
I did not. Thank you.
Okay, so then I am going to deny the request to waive the notice by 10 days. And I'm going to continue 2022 ZON 065 to the July 14th hearing, and that will be with new notice for the correct date.
Okay. When will those notices be available for pickup?
We will get those to you, Mr. Reed, within the next couple of days.
Okay. Sounds
We'll email that notice to you.
Okay, great.
And because you have the signs already up, then
Leave.
they can just stay there.
Okay.
Okay, great. Thank you.
Well, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Are there any other special requests from staff?
Judy, staff would draw your attention to, and it's on the petitions for public hearing, 2022 ZON 027, located at 7250 North Keystone Avenue. As is noted in the staff report, there was some additional information staff was waiting on and contacted the petitioner, their representative, and was understood that they were going to be they would be submitting new information, but the property owner came into the office this morning, and after our discussion, we felt like it would be appropriate to continue it to the June 23rd hearing to provide additional time for the owner of the property to kind of get up to speed as to what's going on here.
Okay. And sir, are you the property owner? If you could give your name and address, please.
Yes, ma'am. I am Jeff Zahner, 7250 North Keystone Avenue, Indianapolis, Indiana, 46240. And in further consultation with staff, we have thought that perhaps July 28th continuance might be more appropriate because I'm coming from basically ground zero. There might be a new legal description required. There's backlogs with the surveyors. That's an excuse, but I don't want to appear again and waste y'all's time either.
Yeah, I appreciate everything you're saying. And did you say it's Mr. Sonner?
Ma'am?
Oh, Zonner, okay. So, yeah, I think that's a really good idea. We've already continued this a couple times, and I don't know how much you've really been kept up to speed, but I think that's I think that's an excellent idea to go ahead and give yourself a little extra time. So, is there anyone else that's here on 2022 ZON 027 on North Keystone Avenue? I don't think so. All right, so I appreciate you coming down today. Kathleen, are you in contact? You've been in contact with the petitioner, right?
Right, yes.
And so is he kind of turning this over to Mr. Zonner, or what exactly is?
He is the petition. Well, I would assume as a property owner, he has more of an interest in, maybe he can explain what happened.
Yeah.
There's a new tenant on the property, and they thought it was in their best interest to act as agent to get I'd call it enhanced zoning on the property. So I signed off on them to be the agent. Unfortunately, they're out of state,
right.
Way out of state.
Right.
And I apologize. I didn't know they weren't appearing, or I would have appeared myself. And I was so informed, and now I've taken it over from them because
good.
It failed twice.
Yeah, I think it's easier to have somebody local, and obviously you have a vested interest in it. So,
yes,
okay, that's great. So I am going to continue 2022 ZON 027 to the July 28th hearing. And I thank you very much for coming down.
And that
I appreciate it. I apologize for the agent missing 2 appointments. I'm kind of stickler on that sort of thing.
You're good.
Okay.
Thank you.
Yeah, and Judy, that would be without notice.
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, so are there any other requests from staff? All right. From the audience?
Yes. Again, for the record, Tim Oakes, attorney at Ice Miller with offices at 1 American Square, Suite 2900, Indianapolis, Indiana, 46282-0200. Here this afternoon on behalf of the petitioner in cases 2022 CZN and CVR 826 at 4701 Todd Road. We are in agreement with the staff report and recommendation. We are not aware of any remonstrance and ask that this be moved to the expedited agenda.
Okay, I'm pretty sure no one else is here for this, but is there anyone here on companion petitions 2022 CZN and CVR 826 on Todd Road? All right. Kathleen, any comments on that?
Thank you, Judy. There are a couple of commitments that is requested by staff. I just wanted confirmation that that would be agreeable to the petitioner and the representative.
They are.
Okay. All right. So I will place those companion petitions 2022 CZN and CVR 826 on the expedited portion of the docket. Any other requests? Okay, we are now ready to consider the petitions on the expedited portion of the docket. These are petitions where staff has recommended approval of the request and staff has not been made aware of any opposition to the petitions. If there are remonstrators present for a particular petition or members of the public that object to a petition being recommended for approval or being approved, we will hear testimony before making a decision. Nancy, would you please read into the record all petitions to be expedited?
Okay, petitions to be expedited are 2022 ZON 064 at 6514 East Washington Street, Warren Township Council District 12. and companions 2022 CZN 826 and 2022 CVR 826 at 4701 Todd Road, Perry Township, Council District 24.
And if both of the petitioners could stand up and be sworn in, please.
Do you swear or affirm under the penalties of perjury to tell the truth and nothing but the truth? Say, I do.
I do.
Thank you.
Okay, and Ms. Walters.
Hello, Sarah Walters, 1073 Oliver Avenue. Here today to request that the property at 6514 East Washington Street be rezoned to D5. This is currently a house in a row of houses, and it has recently been sold, and part of selling it was an agreement to have it rezoned to a more appropriate use.
All right, that's great. And Keith, any comments on that?
No additional comments.
Okay, so I am going to recommend approval of 2022 ZON 064. That will be heard by the Metropolitan Development Commission on July 6th.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Mr. Oaks.
Good afternoon. Again, for the record, Tim Oaks, attorney at Ice Miller with office at 1 American Square, Suite 2900, Indianapolis, Indiana, 46282-0200, here on behalf of the petitioner. We have, again, read staff report and agree with it, and specifically agree to the 2 recommended commitments, and would be happy to answer any questions.
All right, thank you, Mr. Oaks. Kathleen, so it's just the 2 conditions in the written staff report, correct?
That is correct.
Okay. Did you have any other comments?
No, staff has no further comments. Thank you.
Okay. So I am going to recommend approval of 2022 CZR 826, subject to the 2 commitments in the written staff report. And then I'm going to grant 2022 CVR 826, subject to the findings of fact. Those petitions will be heard by the Metropolitan Development Commission on July 6th.
Thank you.
Thank you. We may have set a new record. Is there any other matter to come before us today? Okay, we are adjourned.